All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. This is the show where we're just gonna really, punch people in the face. Not really. It's
digitally punch them in the face. Pew, pew,
yeah,
pew.
verbally, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how wound up I get. But before we get to that, I did want to mention you were talking about aha popping up on your feed and people like
reacting to it. Yeah.
I mean, these are all over fucking YouTube now.
That's a lot of what YouTube has turned into is so and so reacts to insert band here or insert video here or whatever. And I stumbled across aha take on me, and I fell down that rabbit hole. In this turkey break, I spent probably about 16 to 18 views of various people reacting to that song, so it's stuck in my head.
Oh, but it's an okay song to have stuck in your head.
It's fun.
It's a great song from that time. And, I remember being 13 and trying to hit that note that he does.
Good luck.
I'll be gone in a... Can't hit it.
Yeah, that's where it's at right there.
In a day. I can do it in low voice. I'll be gone in a day.
Doesn't have quite the same punch though.
No, because it's several levels
octaves down.
Yeah, low. So look at you knowing all the words.
Look at that words. I know things.
Octave. Well done, Brett.
I paid attention to band or music in third grade. We're good.
Oh yeah. They back when they actually used to have music class. I don't even know if they have music class anymore.
You mean kids don't get to learn how to play the recorder?
No. Now they just hand them a computer and say, "Hey, use GarageBand." That's it. It's over. They teach them how to use GarageBand. That's why we have so many shitty bands out there now. That's just
we're two old people talking about music. Of course, the music nowadays sucks.
I know, of course it does. But I'm really excited about this Get Back thing, and I've only watched one so far. But man, it's been fun because it really gets into their minds and how they just sort of operated when they were writing songs together. And it's totally fun, and they're totally laid back. And I mean, I realize John's probably on heroin through a lot of it, but they're totally chill and just like exchanging ideas. And they play these songs hundreds of fucking times. They must have played Get Back like 100 times before they got it right. And then they sing it like in baby voices, and they, so it's not boring to them. They, they just joke around. The whole thing's a big joke session, but they're getting work done. And that is really in real life how it works. If you're in a band that doesn't, that isn't irritating, it should be a good time. And for my personal experience, it has been a good time. So that's how it should be. And if it's not, you're need new band members.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into this, Brett. God damn it. Who should we start quoting first? Because who started this?
Well, I guess let's preface what the topic is. Well, basically, some people out there are pissed off that Portugal and or Italy may not necessarily make the World Cup, because it's very possible that neither of them might make the World Cup. But they're like, this is bullshit. These top tier teams in Europe should be making it over these bottom dwellers of CONCACAF and South America and Africa and Asia.
But who started it? Was it Tight Shirt?
No, I think it started with 343 at least, because Tight Shirt was responding to 343.
What a shock.
I don't know if they were the first by any means. I'm sure there were a bunch of other people who are posting this shit, but it's gonna be the big boys that get brought out to light,
So let me guess here. 343 started this with a quite confident, maybe even you might consider it overconfident take on Portugal and Italy being left out. Why don't we read what he said before I bust his balls? And I know who he is. I've watched him. I know who this guy is. He's been around for a long time. He has his own YouTube show too. But yeah, 343, they've been around the biz. I'm not going to say I'm a fan of their show though, because all right, when I watch soccer shows like the reason I watch Soccer OG, or even to some extent Filippo, is there's like an underlying sense of humor there. Yes, there's confidence, but it doesn't border on arrogance. And I think that's what we get sometimes from the 343 guy. But anyhow, let's read his quote. I guess this is what started this, and then Taylor chimed in, and we'll read his quote too. Go ahead, Brett.
Oh, okay. Fortunately, I pulled it up. Don't worry.
Okay.
343 says it's understandable to think CONCACAF should have one less guaranteed qualification spot in favor of UEFA.
Jesus Christ.
Did you see that? I caught myself. I didn't say UEFA.
That does sound like a fart too. UEFA. All right, dude. And it's sad that Taylor Twellman agrees with him. That's the thing that really is. He says 3.5 for CONCACAF is too much. I'd argue CONMEBOL that's South America, has as much an argument for more spots over UEFA. So, all right, we'll deal with it one at a time. My first thought when it comes to 343's comment is, all right, dude, Europe already has 23% of its folks qualify for the World Cup. 13 teams out of 55 countries qualify for the World Cup. This World Cup is not a Euro Cup. It's not called the European Cup. It's called the World Cup. That'd be like if you had the Olympics and only, like 8 countries could show up and play because all the other smaller ones don't have the athletes to compete. It's ridiculous. This is about having a World Cup. That means having diversity, having teams from all these different continents show up and play each other and find out who has the best team or who's better than who. And by the way, that's not all set in stone. And everybody thought, like, when we went to the World Cup, the last time we were in the World Cup, we would be knocked out first out of our group. But no, were we knocked out first? No, we weren't. We went on to the next round. Mexico often makes it out of their next group. Costa Rica often makes it out, has made it out of their group. So don't bust our balls. As far as I understand, the highest percentage of teams to get out per amount of teams that are in the World Cup to get out of the first round, that is CONCACAF, rank higher than any other confederation. So
damn, Derek, you did a shit ton more work on this than I did.
Well,
I just scoured Twitter and found some quotes.
Well, go for those.
So yeah, but no, it's a dumb argument. I mean, maybe you can say like maybe the 0.5 can go away, but then even then that's a spot that's being contending with either South America or Asia or Oceanic. So I mean, it's not even guaranteed that we have 4 spots in there. So are they saying that CONCACAF should have 2.5 spots?
Yeah, I guess they are.
Because I mean, get any given Sunday, all of a sudden you're looking at a year where like USA doesn't do well. There was a year, was it 2010 or 2014? Maybe in 2014. Yeah, Mexico was saved.
Yes,
was saved by us.
By Zusi.
By Zusi, yeah. Was saved, and they made the World Cup, and they had a good World Cup too. But yeah, it's crazy to talk about and saying like, oh no, CONCACAF deserves less. And people bring this up, this is arguably like the strongest CONCACAF has been. I mean, you look at El Salvador, you look at Jamaica, you look at
Canada
especially, yeah. You look at all these teams, and they're coming with fire in their belly, and their players are doing well.
I mean,
and we're looking at a point where we're like, maybe the U.S. is looking at it going, we may have that playoff spot. I don't think we will, but some people may look at that and go, that's very much a possibility. But taking away a full spot and handing it over to somebody else who already has significantly more spots.
Hey, yeah, somebody's got to play Oceania's New Zealand.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to play those guys and make sure they don't get in the World Cup. Oh, not like they. All right, listen, Oceania shouldn't exist. It should be a part of the Asian Federation, frankly.
Might as well.
The whole idea that New Zealand has absolutely zero competition in that group, and they're the only ones that ever come out of that generally. I mean, it's just it's a crap group. And if Australia can move to the AFC, then New Zealand can too. And so can all those little islands that they play, islands with like 200 people populations. I mean, that's not competition for New Zealand when New Zealand are winning a lot of these games 12-0, 10-0, 8-0.
Be a very condensed confederation there, man. Mix Oceanic and Asia together.
Yeah.
A lot of teams playing in contention.
I'm sure that there are going to be some travel issues because of that, because Asia's gigantic. It's a gigantic continent, and adding, all those little island nations around Australia, etc., into that it'd be tough. But I think that right now, with the technology we have, that can be done. We can fly, and it's fine. You could do what we do, which is before there are all these little tournaments in the Caribbean teams play before they decide who's going to go into, the
that'd be one thing, I guess.
octagon.
Maybe, yeah. And maybe that octagon would just be the Asian Confederation, top 2 to 4 teams move up to that contend or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's a crappy argument, because basically what you're saying is we want the Euros plus Brazil and Argentina is what they're saying with this whole thing. It's yeah.
Well, you had a quote from another person, but before you get into that,
yes.
I mean, if you look at this by percentage, there are, okay, I'm going to break it down for you. So Africa, CAF, they have 5 spots out of 54 countries competing. That's only 9% of the teams from Africa get in. What are you going to discount all African teams? Unless they're the best African team? That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? I mean, the only way soccer is going to continue to grow in some of these continents is if you have a freebie spot here and there for someone who's not Switzerland or Italy or Portugal. You need other teams to get a chance. And so 9% of the whole continent qualifies for the World Cup, whereas in Europe, 23% of the countries qualify. In Asia, it's 11%. In CONCACAF, it's only 10%. In Oceania, you got a 5%. And then in CONMEBOL, half the teams qualify for the World Cup. 45% of the teams qualify for the World Cup. If you're doing 4.5 or excuse me, 10 divided by 4.5. I mean, I this doesn't even seem fair to me in a lot of ways. I think the percentages are a little askew here. But I
mean, they're skewed, and don't get me wrong. Consistently the top teams are either going to be South American or European, with consistent pressure from outlying teams from the other confederations. But I'm fine with the way it is. Just don't fuck with it. Let everybody have their chance to shine. This is stupid.
If you don't like this, I mean, there are 32 teams and soon 40 that are going to qualify for the World Cup. They can't all be from Europe and fucking South America.
Maybe they should petition to create a super league.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. The whole point, and this is what I hate being kind to FIFA, but their whole point about bringing 40 teams is to give more other continents more chances
and more FIFA to make more money.
Well, yeah, it does come down to money. Yeah, let's be honest. But
don't worry, we'll have a World Cup every 2 years here shortly.
Well, that's not unbelievable.
And then their odds of making the World Cup are increasing. Instead of having a 13% chance every 4 years, it's 13% chance every 2 years. I mean, the odds are ever in your favor.
Who knows? Greenland might qualify at some point. But you had another quote.
I've got a couple quotes to talk about because they're fun to bring up. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to mention his name because he's a check mark on Twitter, and we've talked about this. So again, correct me when I mispronounce this because I'm guaranteeing I will.
Okay,
but it's Carlo Garganese.
Yeah, you got it right.
Hey, look at that.
Unless he's Americanized it and he's American, then he would probably just go with Garganese.
Garganese, yeah.
In traditional Italian, it would be Garganese. But hey, whatever. He can do what he wants.
He says a nightmare draw for Italy, Portugal in the final, awful for one of these teams that won't make the World Cup, while dreadful teams in North and South America will. World Cup 2022.
Sorry. So crying in the background.
But I mean, these dreadful teams that make the World Cup in place of these amazing European teams. I'm not going to even bring up the South American teams because we talked about this off air. We talked about it's almost consistently the same 5 with maybe an outlier on the 5th spot. You know,
no, but we should say who they are.
Okay.
I mean, it's Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, and then whomever else.
Colombia and random other teams here. Yeah. I mean,
right.
It's pretty consistent. And like I said, maybe there's an outlying year here and there, but regardless. But I don't want to bring them up because in the World Cup, they all generally do pretty well anyways, for the most part.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, let's talk about those dreadful teams from CONCACAF because that's kind of close to the heart anyways.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to go past 2010 because I don't have the time or effort, really.
Sure.
But in 2010, Mexico made it out of the group over a powerhouse from Europe called France. France did not qualify that group.
Yep.
USA also made it out of the group over Slovenia.
Yep. And who else was in that group?
2010. Those England. I'd have to look it up. It'd be England, Slovenia, and
Portugal, was it? Can't remember. Yeah. God, my brain.
No, because then I would have said Portugal. No, Portugal is 2014.
Okay.
Regardless.
We've been in a group of death.
Yeah.
And Klinsmann got us out of the group of death.
And, that was Bradley. But 2014 was Klinsmann. That was
still considered a group of death, was it not?
Oh, you're going to make me pull it up on the fly. Hold on 1 second.
Well,
2010. I've got it pulled up here. 2010.
I mean, it was a group of death for us in the sense that there was a very good chance, or there should have been a very good chance, we weren't going to get out of that group. And we did. And
that's 2018. Hold on. 2010.
My whole point is that people need to understand this is a World Cup.
Oh, of course. It was Algeria. Landon Donovan's goal, last minute, 93rd minute. How could I not remember that?
Yeah.
People are screaming at their computers. It's Algeria. It's Algeria.
Yeah, but we've been drinking.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2014, Costa Rica over Italy and England. They got out of the groups over those two.
So
Mexico over Croatia, USA over Portugal, 2018, Mexico over Germany. I mean, it's Asia. These are these crappy CONCACAF teams that shouldn't qualify over Italy or Portugal this year.
As far as the actual statistics go, Asia and CONCACAF teams overperform in the World Cup and get out of their group stages more than they should. Statistically should. European teams statistically underperform their projected advance into the next round out of the group stage. So
in the
don't
defense,
give me this shit.
Once you get into the quarters at that point, then all of a sudden the European teams and the South American teams start to overshine the rest of the CONCACAF and Asia, etc.
Right.
But I mean, clearly these powerhouse teams that should auto qualify for every single World Cup known to man should defeat us in these group stages. And I'm not saying that we're powerhouses by any means, but consistently, I mean, we have an off year here and there, but consistently we're out of the groups and we're in the 16 or we make it to the quarters every now and then.
Surely lately we have been when we actually qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but listen, again, if people want to just have a CONMEBOL UEFA Cup, go for it.
Do it.
Just do it.
I'm sure you'll make money.
Yeah, go for it. But for the rest of us who live in the rest of the world, we'd like to see the world involved in the World Cup. And that means sometimes having shitty teams like New Zealand in the World Cup. So just live with it, you assholes. I mean, why don't you just shut Oceania off? Because we all know they all suck. So why don't we just exclude them from the World Cup altogether? I know actually FIFA trying to do that by making their spot a 0.5 spot, because they know that the fourth place team here in CONCACAF are probably going to beat them. And then there have been other
more
years.
often than not.
In other years, our fourth place team had to play, the fifth place team or the fourth place team in South America. It's changed over the years, obviously. So that's gone back and forth and flippity floppity. And sometimes I think we had to play the Asian fifth or fourth place team. Okay, it's all fine. I mean, but to say what some of the go ahead and read the next quote.
This goes right into the Europa and CONMEBOL Superliga that we were just talking about.
Right.
But this person, and I'm going to leave their name off because they're not a public figure by any means, but I'm sorry, but there is no scenario that a team from CONCACAF, Africa, or really anywhere else should be qualifying ahead of top-ranked Euro teams. There should be some mechanism for auto-qualification based on ranking, with a caveat that the rankings calculation needs to be fixed.
Oh, Jesus. So she wants to make it even harder.
Basically,
she, but I'm going to give it away.
Assuming it's a she.
Yeah. Yeah, but
regardless, basically this person wants to see just the Euros. Then watch the Euros.
Yeah, just take the FIFA ranked top 32 in the FIFA rankings and put them in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
But this person also deleted that tweet because of Twitter and how Twitter can be sometimes.
You mean because their comment was dumb?
And I told my son this week, and I go, something happened. I forgot what it was, but he's like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, well, you play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. It was a dumb take. It was a dumb take, and she got okay. It's a she.
Yes, it is a she.
But she got a lot of heat for it, so she deleted the post. But here's what she said about it. She goes, "Gotta love Twitter." Deleted the World Cup tweets because it went from me saying I want the best teams there to suddenly being racist.
Well, I'm not sure that's the take I would have, but.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there were some people saying like, "Oh, you don't want African teams there? What are you, racist or something?" I'm paraphrasing, and I'm also guessing because I never actually dug in through the responses, maybe primarily because it was deleted.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're saying. Absolutely,
but, yeah. Well, you want an all-white World Cup? Is that what you're saying? No.
I mean, it's
not all white by any means in Europe, but still,
that's what it sounds like to me.
But it went on and saying like, how about I just want to watch every top 20 ranked team instead of teams ranked from 60 to 80s. I'm allowed to want that.
Now
you are allowed to want that.
You are
just watch the Euros.
Yes,
and watch CONMEBOL when they're playing. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah,
you can watch the Gold Cup because there's some top 20 teams in the World Cup too, or the Gold Cup. I mean,
she can watch the Pseudo American Cup. She can watch the Euro Cup, European Cup.
Plenty of shit out there for you.
She can turn off her television. She does not have to watch New Zealand. Okay, then you know what? Here's the other option. The World Cup's on. New Zealand is playing, I don't know, let's just say Colombia. You just turn it off and go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's a game that has 0 Euro teams on it, so I can't watch that.
Yeah. I mean, geez. And let's just say, for, just in Paraguay, actually, qualifies. Geez, Louise or Venezuela. Puke, right? Don't want to watch any of those teams. And, certainly don't want to watch the Ivory Coast play. Jesus. I don't want to watch that game.
I want borderline that territory where she's like, now I'm racist. What?
Well, I mean, it does. It sounds elitist.
It definitely is elitist. Sure. That's this entire argument. It's been elitist. I want to watch the best teams play. And if that means that this confederation over here loses a spot, by all means, I'm for it. Well, then go watch the other federation play. If you want to watch where all the top European teams play each other, go watch it. It's there. It's available for you.
It exists.
This is not that. This is the World Cup, and yes, there are some federations that aren't as represented as others for obvious reasons, like we mentioned, Oceanic and even CONCACAF for that matter.
I'm sure she's the kind of person to be like, oh yeah, the Olympics should only be like the top 20 countries.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of person that's like, oh, I can't believe there's a Peruvian, a long jumper. What's the point of that? Peruvians can't long jump. What the fuck? Get over yourself. Give people a shot. That's why we have things like the Olympics. It's supposed to bring the world together.
And the U.S. didn't qualify the last World Cup. That shit happens. I don't think Italy didn't qualify for 2018, did they? No. Could this be two World Cups in a row possible?
I doubt it. I think they're going to beat Portugal.
Yeah.
Here's an idea.
They have the opportunity to win. They didn't get the results. That shit happens. You move on to the next cycle, which again, in a handful of years, it'll be every 2 years instead.
I mean, here's an idea for Portugal and Italy. Win your fucking group during qualifying, idiots. I mean, there's no reason either of them couldn't have won their group. They didn't play well. And so that's why they're stuck in this situation they're stuck in.
Crazy talk, Derek. It's crazy talk.
Somebody's going to get the hatchet. That's the way it works. when you play poorly, like the United States should have. I mean, it was basically a miracle needed to happen for us not to qualify for the last World Cup.
Hallelujah.
And a miracle happened. And we weren't in the last World Cup. That's what happens. That's what makes the World Cup so exciting. What also makes the World Cup exciting is when teams like the United States in 2002 make it to the quarterfinals, or Korea makes it to the quarterfinals. That's exciting. They made it to
the semis, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Korea. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
So, I mean, you what? Just cut them out because they're in Asia.
Didn't Turkey make it to the to the semis recently? God, I don't even know. I'm on my ass here.
No, but we have had things like Iceland in the European Cup.
Yeah.
They were never expected to do anything. So part of the World Cup's flavor, its excitement, is the chance that they're underdogs.
It's a Cinderella team. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to make it to the quarters or in some cases the semis. And everybody's like, whoa, who expected fucking Korea to be here or Costa Rica or whatever? Yeah, it happens. And when it happens, it's exciting. So take your elitist shit and shove it up your ass. Next person.
Well, that was it. Those are the two I had.
Oh, I thought there was more.
No, I had 3 quotes, and then the 343 and tight shirt.
Oh,
again, I'm sure there were plenty of other people posting the exact same thing. But of course, the top dogs are going to get called out. And not saying that some of the people we brought up were top dogs by means, but they were brought up and brought to our attention. So,
man, tight shirt Twellman needs to stop disappointing me with his takes. I mean, it's getting
so. Again, yeah. I stand firm on my stance with tight shirt and with Lawless is you may not necessarily agree with everything they say, but I absolutely love the fact that they go at it so gung ho and they stick to their guns. And now they may be wrong, or their opinion may be stupid in this situation. You can't be wrong on an opinion, I guess, but you're wrong.
Yeah, you are. You're not. You haven't.
Let us have it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Come on,
man. You got to do some math. So when Twellman says that they should get 5.5 spots in South America, do some math.
I'm just
do some math.
Let's say Jamaica ended up getting a spot, one of the top 3 spots.
Yeah,
and then you have Portugal and Italy not qualifying. Let's just say, let's talk about the extremes here. Mm-hmm. And you could sit there and say like, well, there's no reason why Jamaica should be here because Italy and Portugal are significantly better. If they were playing if they played in a group together, they would lose, but it's the fucking World Cup.
And by the way, Portugal and Italy weren't significantly better in their group stage in qualifying for the World Cup. They weren't significantly better. That's why they're in the situation they are in.
And it's not like they were. It's not
they
every
weren't
team
even in hard groups. Difficult groups.
It's not like every group. It's not like every team in their group is a France or a Switzerland. I mean, there are teams in every European group that are considered to them the Jamaicas or the Panamas or the El Salvadors to us in Mexico and Canada. And then I'm not saying that they're pushovers, but every now and then they'll get a result. Panama beat us on the road. Yes. So that shit happens across the board.
They have a pot system and a seeding system for qualifying in Europe. That means basically all the best teams get separated out, in the group stage. So they don't have to play each other because they have 55 countries they need to break up into various groups. Mm-hmm. And so you rarely have, like, let's say Italy and England in the same qualifying group. It happens sometimes. You'll see two good teams in one group. But mostly it's a team that you expect to qualify and a team who might have a chance to get into the next round. And then you got San Marino, fucking Luxembourg, and I mean, come on. Yeah. That's what it really looks like.
Yeah.
Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. I mean, listen. So
I mean, it may come down to a 2-horse race there, but be faster than the other horse. I mean, come on.
Hey, life is cruel. Get over it.
Yeah.
So,
quit being a little bitch.
Exactly. Stop bitching. All right. And I'm not just saying that because she's maybe a woman. I don't know if she is. I'd say that to a dude too.
All the people we brought up. Stop bitching.
Stop bitching and in Taylor's case, do some fucking homework.
What?
Get over it. Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and Chile. After that, the teams and that Venezuela is a baseball country. Ecuador is not that great. Peru hasn't been good for a long time. Bolivia is mediocre to good. I mean, Paraguay is some years and other years.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. So which one of those countries you want to include over, say, fourth place Costa Rica or fourth place, whoever ends up, United States ends up in fourth place. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I think, and they already booted all the bad countries out of South America, like Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. They have to go play in North America. So,
let's talk about for a brief second when U.S. didn't qualify and Twellman had his meltdown.
What are we doing?
I mean, why don't you have that same meltdown for Portugal or Italy? I mean, come on. What are they doing? I'm just saying. I mean, come on. Yeah, you can't have it both ways here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a bad take, and I hope Twellman figures it out.
And I agree with his meltdown when we didn't qualify. What the hell is happening, guys? And we brought in a bunch of youth, and we're doing better now. Yeah. But I mean, you can't say, well, these guys didn't qualify for the World Cup immediately, so we should probably steal somebody else's spot and give it to them instead.
When you take a big shit in front of your front door, the next day when you open the door and step in it, you shouldn't be surprised. And sometimes Twellman doesn't realize when he does that. He doesn't understand when he takes a shit on his own front door before it. He does not get that that's going to come back to be a squishy situation. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is. And I hope people railed him for it because, well, at least he said, bring another South American team. Unlike that other chick who's just like, I just want to see Euro Cup again. Well, there's a tournament already for Euro Cup. Go watch that. All right. I think that'll do it for this one. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your underpants, and
click that notification bell.
Hit the notification bell. That is so right, because
massive key, guys.
Right now, we're fighting YouTube. We're having a battle with them. They are, they're kind of making it
cops are up. Ready for it.
They're making it tough for the little guys right now. So let's put Dukes up. Let's punch them in the fucking pie hole. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card. Good night.